Hello, Woodlands Alto players. Hope you're all doing good and hope you're all getting a lot of time to practice. I just wanted to start making these videos to help us keep moving along with our instruments and just keep practicing and moving through the book. What I'm going to do is I plan to release a video every week and we're just going to keep working through the book. There's going to be times in this video where I'm going to ask you to pause it and you can then try to do some things. And then there's going to be times where we're going to try it together. Before we start though, I just wanted to go over a couple things with just like posture and different things. So first, let's make sure we got our neck strap and our saxophone in the right place. Remember, make sure you got your reed set up correctly. You want just that little sliver of black when you push your reed up to the mouthpiece, kind of like how on your fingernail you could see there's like that little sliver of white. So yeah, I don't know, my pinky you could see a little better. Yeah, so you want that little, like a little sliver of black on your reed. Now also you want to make sure your reed or your mouthpiece is slanted just so it is straight when you have your saxophone up to your side. So your saxophone is going to be against your knee. You don't want it back here by your hip or nothing. You want to push it up by your knee, and then again, your thumb is supporting the weight too. So the top of your thumbnail is going up, and then it's supporting the weight. So you're up by your knee, and your thumb is supporting the weight. Also, another thing is you want your saxophone to come to you. You don't have to reach to it. So that has to do with your neck strap. So if my neck strap is too low, I have to reach down to my saxophone. If it's too high, hold on, I kind of have to reach up to it. So you want it in that perfect spot to where your instrument comes straight to you. You notice I'm not moving my head at all. So again, it's coming to me. And I got it right at my knee. All right, so now that we just covered those basic things, let's go ahead and start working through what we've covered. So again, if you need a refresher on any of those, you can just pause the video, rewind it, or use the backing, the code in the back of the book to get access to all those videos and backing tracks with the book. So that is also downloadable as an app on your phone, or you can use it on your desktop. So that's a great resource. Do not neglect that. All right, so what we're going to do first is I want to play long tones of all the notes we've learned so far. So again, it's very important to play these long tones to develop the steady airspeed and a good sound. So we're going to start with the very first note we learned, which is the note D. So D is going to have your first finger, your second finger, your third finger down, your thumb is down, and then your first finger, second finger, third finger. So D, you have all 6 fingers down, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and your thumb. So that's the note D, and it's going to sound like this. So that's D. Now, after we have D, we move to C. Now this one's tricky because with saxophone, this is called going over the break. So going from this note where all 3 fingers are down to C, which is just your middle finger, no thumb, no first or third. So that's C. So that's tricky. That's called going over the break. So C, your thumb is up, your first finger is up, and your third finger's up. Just your second finger's down. And then your whole right hand is up too. So it's kind of tricky going from C to D. So what you want to do is kind of practice setting all your fingers down at the same time and lifting them up all at the same time, except for that middle finger. Your thumb is going down with them too. So maybe, I don't know if you're watching TV, just practice that muscle memory of leaving your middle finger down and pushing, setting down and lifting up your fingers together. So that's really good to get your muscle memory going. You know you're watching TV and you just keep practicing that. You're not even playing with your air. You're just practicing that fingering muscle memory. So that's C. Again, C is just your middle finger. And if it's kind of tricky, if you look, C is going to close down the 2 pads. So B, if you look, is actually the second pearl, 1, 2. C is your 4th pearl, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got to make sure you're on the right pearl also. And then your next pearl is right next to it. So it's kind of tricky actually. You want to make sure you're on your correct pearls. So if you look, it's the main big ones that line up with the big circle of the pad too. So you can see the pad underneath. Boom. So there's B, there's C. So B is your first finger, C is just your second finger. All right, so C, remember, is just the second finger. So D, you have all 6 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and your thumb. Then you go to C, you lift that up, you keep your middle finger down. So that's C. Now when we go to B, we're switching just to our first finger. So that's the note B. So quickly, C will sound like this. B will sound like this, just our first finger. So that's B. Now our next note that we learned is A. So A, you keep your first finger down, you set your second finger down. A is 1 and 2. And again, your thumb is still supporting that weight. You just got your 2 fingers down. And if you look, my other fingers, it's hard to see, are just kind of floating above the keys. I'm not like letting them go away. I'm just keeping them right here ready to go. Same with that third finger. So this is A, just 1 and 2. And then G is 1, 2, and 3. So we got to make sure we got that. 1, 2, and 3. So what I want to do is I want to play a long tone of each note. So we'll do 1 measure, 4 counts of each note, and then we'll do a measure of rest. So 4 counts of a rest. So we'll start on D, then we'll go to C, then we'll go to B, then we'll go to A, and then we'll go to G. So here we go. We're starting on D. Remember, corners tight, chin flat. Use your cool, fast air to blow air through the saxophone. You're not blowing air into it, you're blowing air through the saxophone. So here we go. We're starting with D. 1, 2, long tone D. 2, next note C. Remember, no thumb for C. Here's B, just our first finger. Next note A. Two, last note G. All right, so that was the long tone of the notes we have learned so far. So if you feel like you got to do that again, don't be afraid to pause it and try again. Rewind the video, try again. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to work our way up. So we're going to start with G. We're going to go to A, to B, to C. Remember, B is 1 to 2. That's kind of tricky. And then to D. D is, again, you got to set 1. Your 2 should already be down from C. And then you set all these guys down. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, and your thumb. So that's the tricky one, C to D. That one's going to take a lot of practice. So we're going to start on the bottom and work our way up, starting with G, which is just 1, 2, and 3. No thumb for G, no thumb. Not until we get to D. All right, here we go. Here's G. 1, 2, ready, go. Remember, corners tight, chin flat. Here's A. Try not to be too loud. Control your sound. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Here's C. And last one, D. All 6 fingers, thumb. All right, so those were our long tones. Remember, it's always good to warm up with those long tones. You get your fingers in the right spot, you get your air moving, and you get your sound set up. All right, we're going to now go on to Rain, Rain. So this is kind of where we left off in the book, and this is where we're going to pick up with our video lessons. So we're starting on the note D, which is 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, and our thumb. And then we go to B, which we lift up everything except our first finger. So D to B, everything comes up except our first finger. So what I want to do is I want to finger through and say the note names as we're looking through. So the first time through, we're going to say the note names and finger through at the same time. So we're going to start on D, and then we're going to go to B, then we got 2 D's again, and then we're going to go to B. So we're going to do it in time, and we're going to say the note names and finger through. So get your saxophone ready to finger through and be ready to say the note names. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. D, B, D, D, B, D, D, B, C, D, D, B, D, B, D, rest, B, rest, D, D, B, C, rest, D, B, 2. So, a couple things. Make sure you breathe with those apostrophe marks. You want to make sure you have enough air. Half notes get 2 counts, so 2 counts for those notes that are not filled in, the ones that are open circles. Those have to get 2 counts. When we get to measure 5, you have a D and then a B, but those are half notes, so they get 2 counts. The next measure right after, you have the same notes, but then there's a rest. So those you have to cut short. Make sure you cut the sound short for those. And then also, at the very end, where you go from C to the rest to the D, so I finger C, I got my rest. I'm going to go ahead and set my fingers down for D to get ready for that. I'm just not going to blow any air until we get to that D when we're counting in time. So go ahead, get ready for that so you're not stumbling right when you get there. You want to be all set up and ready to go. So that was Rain Rain, counting through, saying the note names. One thing I did notice is that it's basically only D and B the whole time. You have that C that comes in there only twice. So basically just practicing that finger movement going from D to B. So what I want you to do now is pause the video and try to play the song by yourself. Take it at a nice steady tempo. Remember to tongue each note and use that cool, fast air. Stay relaxed. So go ahead, pause the video, and try it yourself. Alright, now we're going to try it together. So this is a very slow tempo. We're going to take it starting on D. Remember, tongue each note, sit up tall, relaxed, cool, fast air. Ready? Here we go. Rain, rain, really slow. 1, 2, ready, and go. How'd you do? Did you remember to keep holding out that last note for 2 counts? Remember, that's a half note. It gets 2 counts. All right, so we're going to go ahead and try it now a little bit faster. If you're not ready to go faster, pause it, rewind the video, try it again slowly until you're ready to go faster. But here's our faster tempo for Rain Rain. Again, starting on D, I got all my fingers set up, ready to go. 1, 2, rain, rain, go. Alright, so, a couple other things. Remember to keep your fingers nice and curved like a claw. You don't want to keep them flat. You want them nice and curved when you're playing saxophone. So, keep them curved so you're using the tips of your fingers. Don't let them go flat. You want them curved. So, That'll really help you be able to start playing fast when we start getting better. All right. Another thing, make sure you're tonguing each note, sitting up tall, corners tight, chin flat, and you want to pull your chin towards the floor. You don't want to bite. If you bite, you'll get those squeaky notes. So again, pull your chin flat and really use that cool, fast air. All right. So here we go. Here's Rain Rain, the fastest tempo. Ready? Starting on D. 1, 2, ready, and go. All right, so I think that was the tempo that they use with the backing track with the code in the back of the book. Remember to use that code. It's a great access, great resource. So there's got metronomes, they got tuners on there, they got a bunch of videos of people teaching you about embouchure, teaching you about fingerings. So it's a great resource. Don't neglect that. All right, here's Rain Rain, or we just did Rain Rain, fastest tempo. So we're going to move on now to 18, in a minor mood. Again, this is our first time playing through, so we're going to finger along and say the note names. So really slowly, we start on C, which is just the middle finger, just finger 2. So ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, B, A, 2, 3, 4. C, C, B, A, C. Oh, I'm sorry. I started reading the wrong one. All right, let's do that again. Let's try that again. Ooh, my fault. Mr. Cole's fault. Here we go. Starting on C. Ready, go. C, B, A, 2, 3, 4. C, C, B, B, A, 2, rest, rest. A, B, C, D, C, rest, B, rest, A, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so that's C to D, that's tricky. That's going from just your middle finger to all 6 fingers down. That one's the tricky one. Also, from the second measure to the third measure, you go from an A to a C. So you got your 2 fingers down for A, and then you go to C. You can just lift your first finger. Keep that second finger planted down on that pearl. Lift your first finger up. So, here we go. In a minor mood, nice and slow. If you want to finger through it again, go ahead, pause it, finger through it again. But here's in a minor mood, nice and slow. Starting on C. 1, 2, ready, and go. All right, so did you remember to breathe in the correct spots? Remember, you want to breathe at the end of a phrase. If you breathe right in the middle of a phrase, it's kind of like taking a breath right in the middle of a sentence. So if I'm saying like, hey, how you doing? Do you want to go and get something to eat? You know, you don't want to stop in the middle of a phrase. So think of those as musical sentences. So you want to breathe right at the end of the phrase. Also, remember to put that little rest in measure 7? Right after the C note and right after the B. You got to have that pause, that little space. So, all right, here's in a minor mood, a little bit faster. 1, 2, ready, and go. right. Did you remember to hold out those whole notes for 4 counts? Remember, whole notes get 4 counts. And remember, keep tonguing. That tongue needs to touch the tip of the reed. Two, two, two. I'm using like the tip of my tongue like this. Uh, uh, I'm not like tonguing it like that. I'm not. So it's really the underneath of my tongue that's touching it. So that's something else completely to work on. So don't feel overwhelmed. Just go ahead and keep practicing tonguing. So just say 2. Don't even think too hard about it. All right, here's the in a minor mood, fastest tempo. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, so we're going to move on to hot crust buns now. So now this has the note G. Remember, G is 1, 2, and 3. If you're really looking at the pearls, though, it'd be the 2nd pearl, the 4th pearl, and then the 5th pearl. But we want to think of it as 1, 2, and 3. So make sure you got the right pearls. You don't want to have your fingers on the wrong pearls. So 1, can you see there? There we go. So 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Okay, so here's hot crust buns. We're going to finger through and say the note names as we're fingering through. So we're starting on B. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. B, A, G, 2, 3, 4. B, A, G, 2, rest, rest. G, 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 A, B, rest, A, rest. G, 2, 3, 4. So remember to hold out that G for the full 4 counts. All right, go ahead, pause it, try it by yourself, and then we'll try it together. All right, here's hot crust buns, slow tempo. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, so remember that cool, fast air through the instrument. You want to keep that tone nice and steady. All right, here we go. Here's hot crust buns. Let's go about the same speed as the backing track. I think this is the same speed. So if you're not ready to go faster, go ahead, pause it, rewind it. But here's the faster speed. Remember, use those backing tracks. Here we go. 1, 2, hot crust buns. So if you see, at the very end, I'm putting my fingers down during that rest. So B, A, G. So I'm all ready to go. I just got to re-tongue the note. B, A, G. All right, so this next one. This one's a tough one. This one's number 20. This is the last one we're going to do for today. But if you look at it, it says test. So this is gonna challenge us. This one uses every single note we've learned so far, D, C, B, A, and G. And this one is going to use different rests. This one also has leaps in the melody, so it doesn't move just from note to note, it's got leaps. So if we look ahead, there's a leap from A to C, and then there's another leap from G to D. That one's a new one. So we got G, and then we're going to have to add our thumb and add our 3 fingers. So that's a new leap. So, yeah. Getting to D is kind of tricky. So that's another good muscle memory to practice. Go G to D, G, D, G, D, G, D, and then like do A to D, A to D, A to D, A to D, B to D, B to D, B to D, and make sure all your fingers come down at the same time. You don't want sliding like that. B to D, B to D, B to D, C to D, C to D, C to D, C to D, back to G to D, G to D, G to D. That's a tongue twister. G to D, G to D, G to D. All right, here we go. So, getting that G to D. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to finger through and say the note names together. So we start on B, which is our second pearl, first finger. If you're counting pearl numbers, you want to remember, you want to start thinking of that as pearl, as first pearl for finger 1, first pearl. So here we go. Go tell Aunt Rhody really slowly. 1, 2, finger and notes. B, B, A, G, rest, G, rest. A, C, B, A, G, rest. D, D, C, B, rest. B, B, A, C, B, A, G, rest, rest. So remember, we got to count those 2 rests at the end, even though there's no sound, because the measure is 4 beats, and it's written all the way for 4 beats. So we still got to count those. Don't get lazy and quit counting. We got to keep counting. All right, so here we go. Go ahead, pause it, try it by yourself, and then we'll try it together. All right, here's Go Tell Aunt Rhody, nice and slow. Ready? Starting on B. 1, So remember to tongue each note. Corners tight, chin flat, sitting up tall. Saxophone by your knee, up by your knee. All right, here we go. Starting on a B. 1, 2, ready, and go. All right, so how'd you do? Did you remember to count every beat? Did you remember to breathe in the correct spots? So remember, think of musical sentences. Think of good spots to breathe. So at the end of measure 4, right before measure 5, you'd want to sneak a breath in there. That's a good spot. Measure 6, right after that first B, where you're resting, sneak a breath in there to then continue with your second group of Bs. So yeah, all right, here's Go Tell Aunt Rhody a little faster. We're going to go tell her. Make sure, if you're not ready to go this fast though, that you pause it, rewind it, and try again. So here's Go Tell Aunt Rhody. 1, 2, a little faster. All right, so let's try it one more time, the fastest tempo. Remember, if you're not ready, pause it, rewind it, try again. Here we go. Cool, fast air, sitting up tall, relaxed. 1, 2, go tell Aunt. So also remember, I'm keeping my air just moving forward nice and fast, and then I'm just setting my fingers down. So two, 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 two. I'm not huffing and puffing. Do not huff and puff. Two, 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 two. You do not want to do that. So nice fast stream of air. All right, so the next one is private lesson. It says draw a treble clef at the beginning of the staff. You can do that if you want. It teaches you how to draw the treble clef and measure number 6 right before. So go ahead and try that, and then trace the notes and draw 3 more of each. Why not? So go ahead and do that. Trace your notes, draw in your notes. But yeah, So otherwise, was our first alto saxophone lesson through video chat. So hope you enjoyed, and don't remember to pause it, rewind it, watch parts again. Remember to use the backing tracks and the code with the book, and yeah, just keep practicing. I'll post another video for the next page, starting with 22 for the following week, and we'll just keep going for there. Remember, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to dojo me or email my email address. So keep practicing and keep at it. All right, have a good one. See you later.